Hello everyone and welcome back to Bogart on Movies. Now that the holidays are over, we're looking at the NFL playoffs and the BCS championship and in a couple of months the Oscars. So this week we'll look at yet another Oscar-winning performance from Jennifer Lawrence in American Hustle. We'll see another side of Christian Bale in Out of the Furnace and look at a really good action movie, Homefront. For my classic pick, we're going Hitchcock and Vertigo. And we'll also be singing in the rain with the very disturbing Clockwork Orange. All that, plus Carla's Campy picks and your emails. So let's get going. Now, I know I go on and on about my favorite actors, but there are some that are just so good that they tower above the rest. Blanchett, Daniel Day-Lewis, Tom Hanks, Meryl Streep. They're just a few. And two others on that list are in the first film we're going to look at, David O. Russell's American Hustle. For those of you who haven't seen it, here's a quick look.
Toast to a new era.
You never took a quarter from a phone booth. You stole. I just got bigger balls than you.
For those of you who haven't seen it, this is about the ab scam sting operation run by the FBI in the late 70s and early 80s. The movie revolves around the major players in what was at the time a captivating drama, and the acting is spectacular all around. Bradley Cooper is once again top-notch, as are Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner. Renner could get a Best Supporting Actor nod, although he won't win. And a little bit of Robert De Niro even's in there. But Jennifer Lawrence and Bale were just out of this world tremendous. Check out this clip and watch the language.
Metal on the side. Oh, it's freaking out. Sean. Do whatever. Whoa!
Another fire!
No, Danny, not that one. That one's empty. We gotta use the big one.
I told you not to put metal in the science of them. What'd you do that for?
Don't make such a big deal. Just get another one.
I don't want another one. I want the one that Carmine gave me.
Oh, Carmine. I want the one that Carmine gave me. Carmine. Why don't you just marry Carmine? Get a little gold microwave and put it on a chain around your neck. You want to be more like Carmine? Why don't you build something like he does? Instead of all your empty deals, it's just like your science oven. You know, I read that it takes all of the nutrition out of our food. It's empty, just like your deals. Empty. It's not bull. I read it in an article. Look, by Paul Berdure. Bring something into this house that's gonna take all the nutrition out of our food and then light our house on fire? Thank God for me.
Thank God for me. How incredible is J-Law? You cannot take your eyes off her. And to think she has the breadth to go from Katniss Everdeen in Hunger Games to this. Just astounding, that talent. She and Bale are mesmerizing on screen. And Bale, to me, in this film, shows right here he's as good as anyone. And Cooper and Adams, what a cast. Look at this scene.
You're gonna do this because you got no choice. You work for me.
You keep changing the rules. No, you're getting a little power drunk. Richard, you want to tell him, Edith? You want to wake him up?
Oh, no, I said we shouldn't do any of it, Irving. You know I said that. So now I support Richie. He's got vision. Do it heavy or don't do it.
What does that mean? I mean, he's the one ruining America, not me.
How the f am I ruining America?
Because people just got over Watergate and Vietnam, all right? And you're going to shit all over politicians again? Hey, just because you want to be a big shot, get a promotion.
No, I'm thinking big. All right, this is gonna be fantastic. We're doing video surveillance. I'm doing this from the feet up.
You will never do it properly because you got too much government attitude to be small and sleek. I'm like the Viet Cong, man, all right? I'm in and I'm out. I was there the whole time. You don't know it, all right? That's an art of becoming somebody who people can pin their beliefs and their dreams on.
So there was a ton of talent in this movie, and the end product bears it out. A good but not great, yet very funny screenplay. Well directed, of course. A terrific study of normal people with normal angst and normal flaws in an abnormal situation. It may lack a certain edge, but the actors more than make up for that. I'll give this one a 4.5. Now, next up, we have a really dark, disturbing film with another tremendous cast, though. Again, starring Christian Bale, this time in a totally different role from that in American Hustle. It's Scott Cooper's second directorial effort, the thriller Out of the Furnace. Check it out.
Boy was always trouble. I love him. Ever since he was a little kid. Come work at the mill. Nothing wrong with working for a living.
Working for a living? I gave my life for this country. And what's it done for me? Huh? What's it done for me? I'm gonna do this one last fight, and then I'll be done.
Showtime.
It's such a fine line. It keeps me searching for a heart of gold.
Russell, they haven't been able to find your brother.
For a heart,
They aren't gonna look for Rodney? No.
and I'm getting old.
It's a whole nother world up in there. The own breed of justice, and it does not include us.
Now, this is a bleak look at the part of America that most of us will never see, a place where the American dream never existed. Steel mill worker Russell Bays cares for his terminal father by night, but when his brother returns from Iraq, they get mixed up with as bad and scary a bunch of criminals as you could ever find. Let me tell you, this is not a fun movie. It is depressing. It is gritty. It is really violent. There is no humor here, and there shouldn't be. But the acting is first rate. Watch this clip of Bale getting out of prison. You can actually feel his freedom.
How's it feel?
I think I'm running. I'm gonna run. I'm running home.
Way! Go!
You driving?
You wanna drive?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Come on, say goodbye.
Now, you think American Hustle has a great cast. Get this, Bale, Casey Affleck. Is he not getting to be one of your favorites? The always fantastic Woody Harrelson, Willem Dafoe, Zoe Saldana, Forrest Whitaker, Sam Shepard, they were all tremendous. The movie, however, was not, and the big problem here was the screenplay, which was disjointed and jumped all over the place. Even so, the cast was so good it's worth watching. I give it a 3.5. Now, I went to this next movie not very confident that I was going to like it, and I came away having seen a pretty good action movie. With a script by Sylvester Stallone, it's the Gary Flater-directed Homefront.
I miss Mom.
Me too.
Cool hat, loser.
Give it back.
You want it? Come get it. What you gonna do about it?
No! I want this thing settled, and I mean now. Is that the father, not your girl? You the father? You the father? You the father?
You think we're gonna be disrespected? Can't you go over there and do some things?
Mess with their heads like you do everyone else.
Scare 'em.
Your door's open. Neighbor calling.
It's a damn undercover cop. Very nice to meet you, Agent Broker.
I'd be real careful, broker. People around here don't shake and make up.
Hey, neighbor, can you get that pump from me?
I'm almost done. Whatever you're thinking, we thinking.
You've worked up a pretty bad rep around here.
I don't want any more problems.
Tell your little girl she's got nothing to worry about with such a tough daddy around.
They call him Gator for some reason. The word is he's cooking up that meth.
I don't want that narc broker laying low in my town. Let's take him out.
The story is an ex-DEA agent and his daughter come to live in a small town and ended up going head-to-head with the bad guy meth cookers. The cast in this one is again very good. James Franco, Kate Bosworth, and Winona Ryder are all very good. Franco especially, a different kind of part for him. He continues to go for different kinds of roles, and I think he's ready to break out to the next level. But Jason Statham, out of his element in the awful movie Parker, has, in my view, found his niche as the Stallone, Schwarzenegger, or whoever the next me against the world actor is of the moment.
It should be interesting.
Yeah, we've never been properly introduced, you and me.
Well, I won't ask your name. I personally believe a reputation's the most important thing. It's pissed off some of the locals.
Look, I don't want any more problems.
Okay. Anything else you're thinking hard about? Because I can smell the wood burning.
If someone has an issue with me, keep it there. I don't want my kid involved.
I'm a little lost.
See the house?
Mm-hmm.
See, that's my house. Anyone who comes around again.
The movie is violent, but it's not gory, and it's an action movie with humanity. Newcomer Isabella Vidovic is really good as Booker's daughter, and her being a central character in the storyline really sets this film apart from the usual action flick. And Statham fans will love it. I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 5. Nothing different from what you'd expect, just better. I'll be back in a moment with a classic.
You have a straightforward choice. You must choose either death or life.
And you think I should choose life? Welcome to Downton.
Now, as I said earlier, for this week's classic movie, we're going to the master and one of his most revered films. Starring Jimmy Stewart and Kim Novak, here's a look at Alfred Hitchcock's psychological thriller from 1958, Vertigo.
Vertigo, a feeling of dizziness, a swimming in the head. Figuratively, a state in which all things seem to be engulfed in a whirlpool of terror, as created by Alfred Hitchcock in the story that gives new meaning to the word suspense.
I don't want to die. There's someone inside me, and she says I must die. Scotty, don't let me go.
A beautiful girl haunted by the desperate, unexplainable urge to destroy herself. A man possessed by the paralyzing vertigo that made him afraid of high places.
Easy now.
I know. Well, it's a cinch. Here, I look up, I look down. I look up, I look...
What was the strange attraction that brought these two together, in spite of the dark forces that tore them apart? The specter from the past that drew her to the ancient headstone in the mission graveyard. The compulsion that drove her relentlessly to the point of no return. The story of a love so powerful it broke down all barriers between past and present, between life and death, between the golden girl in the dark tower and the tawdry redhead that he tried to remake in her image.
I let you change me, will that do it? If I do what you tell me, will you love me?
Yes.
All right. All right, then I'll do it. But I don't care anymore about me.
Now there's another guy who never made a bad movie, Jimmy Stewart. Anyway, this one's an adaptation of a French novel called D'entre les morts, loosely translated as Between the Dead. And it's about Detective Scotty Ferguson, played by Stewart, who has to retire because, among other things, he has a disability, acrophobia. That's the fear of heights. I should know. I hate heights. Anyway, he becomes a private eye hired to follow a friend's wife, played by Novak, and who isn't quite what she seems. I'm not going to give away any more of the plot, but this was a groundbreaking movie in one major way: the use of special effects dizzying to show Scotty's vertigo, as in the famous bell tower scene where Scotty chases after Madeline and tries to keep her from committing suicide. How good is Jimmy Stewart? I like every movie he's ever made. What an incredible actor. And Kim Novak, one of my first, shall we say, loves in Hollywood. An incredible looking woman. She, along with Barbara Bel Geddes and the rest of the cast, were terrific. This is a wonderful movie. Hitchcock said it was his favorite, even though he blamed Stewart for his mixed reviews. He said it was Stewart's fault because he looked too old. Whatever. Great movie, great acting, worth every minute of your time. Now it's time to open up the Bogart on Movies mailbox and check out your emails. And Jim in Hobe Sound says, love your show. I understand you've restarted your father's old movie production company, Santana Productions. Can you tell us something about that? And will you be acting in any movies? Thanks for the question, Jim. You're right. My partner, Robert DeClercq, and our company, Bogart LLC, have teamed with filmmaker Steve Anderson to resurrect Santana Productions and bring back noir to the movie theater. Santana Productions was started by my father as a vehicle to get out from under the studios and to produce his own films, one of the first actors to do so. We're looking to make 5 films in the next 3 to 5 years with a heavy focus on writing and acting and less reliance on CG and special effects. So far, we've made 2. This Last Lonely Place, which is about to be released to film festival, and our latest, The White Orchid, which we've just finished shooting. The idea is to make good movies for under $1 million and to feature and help young filmmakers get ahead in the business. Now, Marion Del Rey wants to know, I read where Humphrey Bogart is a descendant of John Howland, an original settler of America who came over on the Mayflower, and that Alec Baldwin is also a descendant of John Howland. Is that true? Can you tell us anything about that? Well, Mary, it could be true. I'll have to look that one up. But if so, I guess that makes me and Alec cousins, if not a few times removed. Remember, you can email me at stevebogart@wxel.org and be sure to include your name and your hometown. Thanks a lot. As we move on to Carla's campy picks, love is in the air in this opulent production starring Peter Cushing and Dawn Adams in 1970's The Vampire Lovers.
Come with us if you dare into a twilight world of unspeakable horror.
You must die. Everybody must die.
Sample, if you dare, the deadly passion of the vampire lovers. The vampire lovers. Perverted creatures of the night find their victims everywhere. The unsuspecting merrymakers in glittering ballrooms with their young and tender throats. The sleeping beauties whose troubled dreams turn into real, terrifying nightmares.
It was a cat! A huge cat!
For God's sake, save her.
No rest for the vampire lovers. No escape till their evil hearts are stilled for all eternity. If one remains, yes, even one, there will be thousands more. Beware. Beware the cold caress, the kiss that kills. Beware the vampire lovers.
Now, I love gorgeous vampirettes, but I wonder, do vampires use breath mints or mouthwash? Now it's time for my real hit, and I've got a doozy for you. I warn you, this is not a feel-good movie. That's an understatement. It is disturbing, and it has over-the-top violence, but I think it's a really important movie. Based on the novel by Anthony Burgess, it's 1971's controversial look at youth violence, Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange. I warn you, even the trailer's tough to watch.
Can you spare some cutter, me brothers? We don't want to live in a stinking world like this.
Oh? And what's so stinking about it?
It's a stinking world because there's no law and order anymore.
What crime did you commit?
The accidental killing of a person, sir.
He's enterprising, aggressive, outgoing, young, bold, vicious. He'll do.
I'm sorry, Alex. This is for your own good.
One of
our early test subjects described it as being like death.
Violence is a very horrible thing. That's what you're learning now.
The film takes place in London of the near future, thankfully a future that is not yet now, and focuses on Alex, played so scarily by Malcolm McDowell, as the sociopathic, charismatic, Beethoven-loving leader of a youth gang, a vicious, violence-filled crime spree, and the attempts by authorities to, quote, cure him, unquote. Let me tell you, this movie starts out with a bang, with one of the most memorable and violent scenes in film. It's very graphic, so be warned.
Well, I suppose you better let him in.
Well, wait a minute, will you? I'm sorry, but we don't usually let strangers in.
Right, Pete, check the rest of the house. 10. I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling. I'm happy again. I'm laughing at clouds so dark up above. Sun's in my heart, and I'm ready for love.
Hide the kids if you're going to watch this one. The movie got 4 Academy Award nominations, including 2 for Kubrick, but a lot of people, a lot of critics didn't like it. Some called it pornographic. In Britain, you couldn't see it in movie theaters, and here in the US, it was rated X until Kubrick took out some of the sexually explicit footage. But Kubrick saw it as a study in violence, psychology, and morality in our society. And for good or bad, many say it broke down the rules against violence in film. If you don't like violence, and I don't see it. But if you can get beyond that, and I did, you'll find a very good movie.